Deputy Minister of International Relations and Cooperation, Honorable Candid Mashigo-Dlamini, is scheduled for a back-to-school outreach campaign, which will start in Limpopo on the 24th of January 2020. And I am welcoming her right now. She has graced our studios. We are very honored to have her in studio. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning and greetings to the listeners.
Thank you so much for joining us. You are embarking on this campaign, a back-to-school campaign. It's highly unlikely for a department like ours to be involved in school-related issues. Tell us more about your campaign.
Well, our responsibility as the Department of International Relations and Cooperation, it's really to make sure that government comply and also implement the SDGs that have been agreed upon by the countries. But as South Africa, we feel that education is business of everybody. So as a department, as a Deputy Minister of Department of International Relations and Cooperation, I felt it is good that I need to, as the schools are opening, I need to go back to those schools and motivate the kids and also indicate whatever issues that we have as a department in terms of bursaries, in terms of support that we can give to our children. And also for them to understand that there's this department that is existing. Because my understanding is that I've been in school, I never heard about international relations until I get older. So now this is democracy, and we need our children from primary school to know that there's this department that is connecting their own country to the world. And what is it that we are doing?
Very important. You know, there are still adults out there who do not know anything about this department. I always get questions like, where are you working? Because they used to know me from my previous employer. And when I tell them about the department, they say they've never heard about our department. So I believe that it is very important for school kids to know about this department and the career opportunities that are available within the department. So in your view, how does education link to South African foreign policy objectives?
Well, as I said, that we are part of the signatories of the number of SDGs that have been accepted by the whole world. So we are also part of the world. So now quality education is one of the SDGs that every country must comply and also achieve. And skills development is also one of the SDGs that all countries must comply in. As you're quite aware that in South Africa we are almost 25 years old in terms of our democracy. So we need to move all out, start from primary school and speak to our children at primary school and motivate them, because the schools that I have chosen, they've got some significance in my life. And these are rural schools. And this one of the school is the school where I started primary school. And Manzini primary school, that's where I started, and that's my home village. So now they know me moving up and down, but they don't know what I'm doing.
Wow.
And I understand the situation that they are faced with, some of the kids there, and the difficulties that the teachers are facing, because majority of the kids there are orphans through HIV and AIDS. So now, if teachers are standing in front of such kids at this time, they need to have support. The way they look at the kids, they don't have uniform, they don't have food at home, somebody is stealing their social grants, and the uncles are doing sorts of things with them. So we need a local person to come and speak to them directly.
Wow.
And also to motivate them, because they know my home, they know my family. Some of the teachers, they know how I grew up, and some of the people in the village, they know how I grew up, how I suffered, and now I want to give the children hope that even if you suffered, in fact, they must be suffered more than me, but I have suffered a lot because I was raised by a single mother. So now most of them are raised by a single mother. Even them, they are also child-headed families now, which was never there before. So now we need to motivate them to stick to their education, and they will be better off.
I'm tempted to say, is there anything good that can come out of Manzini? Referring back to the question that was asked by one of the disciples in the Bible, that is there anything good that can come out of Nazareth? Referring to Jesus. So here you are, Deputy Minister. Something good came out of Manzini, and they can see you. They can relate with your background. They can relate with your circumstances. Very interesting indeed. I understand that you're going to give back to the community, not only motivation, but there's something that you are taking with to Manzini as well as Mookgophong in Limpopo. Tell us about your donation.
Well, we got good Samaritans that when we call, they heeded to our call. So in Manzini, we adopted Manzini last year. And from last year, there some little things that we have donated there, which are really keeping them. You know, teachers are now sitting in better chairs. They never had chairs, so we have donated very nice rounding chairs and all that. So we have also donated some basic things for the kitchen, because you know that there's food that is prepared for the kids in that school. So this year, and as I'll be going there, will be donating a library, a container library. There was never a library in that school. So it will be for the first time that the kids will have library and books and read about history of certain things and do research and start to understand the situation, their country and other countries, because our responsibility as international relations is to make sure that we supply them with material that will expose them to the world, so that they must really understand, you know, we are battling with xenophobia as a country and other countries in Africa. But if we educate our kids from at a young age, it will really make them to see any person as an African person. And they must regard themselves as African people rather than South African people. So we need really to instill that education and instill that stability, because we hope that South Africa has got a history with many countries. If other countries and African countries were not helping us, we were almost dead. We were a country that we didn't have hope of getting any freedom in this country. But because of other African countries and African leaders and other world leaders were helping us, sympathizing with us, here we stand now. We've got democracy in South Africa. Therefore, we need to honor our brothers and sisters.
And once more, one of the items that you're going to donate is sanitary towels, of which it has been done by many other organizations, and it has been criticized to say it's not sustainable. Only go there once and give them sanitary towels now. What is going to happen in the next 3 months or 4 months or so? And I've come to learn about an organization. I don't know if you know about it. It's in Mpumalanga, Criselda Education Foundation. They are now manufacturing reusable sanitary towels. Is it something that we can consider in future, instead of giving them disposable sanitary towels, and give them something that they can reuse over and over again?
Well, I think it's a very good innovation which we can look at and also support. You understand, we're moving all over the world. We can really ask some good friends to support them so that they expand and supply. But the government of South Africa is also preparing to have something in that line to make sure that they supply the kids a package of a full year. So now this is what the social development is trying to put together now. So we're looking forward for what the government is going to do. But at the meantime, as individual department, as individual leaders, we need to take full responsibility where we are going. Sanitary towels are very, very important. I know it as I grew up in a rural area. I grew up in a very, very deep rural area. We never had for something like that. But every month, a girl child had to be absent for a week. Every month. So can you imagine how many weeks per year? And at the very same girl, we expect that girl to pass. Whereas it's missing a week every month. So it's a very difficult situation. So we're really trying our best to really make a mark and motivate them to do better and support them.
Of course. What kind of impact are you expecting to have on these communities using this program?
Well, at Mookgophong, as is part of my constituency, as a member of parliament, we need to make sure that we really try to bring that community together. It's a very scattered community, politically and socially. It's a rural area as well. So we need to make sure that as we support kids from the school, I'll be going out to the community itself. There's a problem of water in that area. I have done it when my constituency was in Sishigo. I got Good Samaritans. I supplied basic water. I supply some number of water tankers around and we build them and we supply water. The municipality got easy to supply the community water. At the meantime, while they've got this bigger plan of revamping their infrastructure of water supply. So now we feel that we'll do the same. We'll do the same at Mookgophong. We'll support them, the community. And there's lots of crime there. And there's lots of drug users and all that. But we will need really to make sure that we form support groups so that we start to help the young people. If ever they needed to be sent somewhere, I will communicate with my former department. I was running a program in my former department, Rural Development. It is called NARISEC. So I will communicate with my former department to take some of the young people who are dropouts from school to go and revive their strength and take them back to school.
Deputy Minister, let's talk about future projects. We've spoken about the one in Manzini. We've spoken about Mookgophong. What other projects can we look forward to in the near future? I'm trying my best to put a document on a primary school project, and that project will be called Know Your Country. Know Your Country, it's where we're going to select a number of schools in communities. I'll start where my constituency is. We'll select a number of primary schools and sit down with the teachers and give them just a basic terms of reference. What is it that we need the kids to know? We need the kids to really make a presentation or make a research on any country in Africa. We want to start with Africa. With any country in Africa, they will select countries, the kids, and go and research. Research on 4 things: the culture, the type of education that is there, and the type of economy that is there in that country. So we want to do a symposium in every community where all the young people who have chosen the countries will present one by one about that individual country. And then from there, we'll just give them flags and they put a stamp to everybody who has been listening to them, stamp their passport so that they have reached those countries. Wow. As part of a play. And but the crux of it is really to make sure that these kids now individually
a researcher about that country will now understand that culture. And when he's presenting now, the audience will now understand the number of countries that have been presented there. We'll just make sure that we'll even make the attire of those countries so that when they present them as wear, in the manner the people are wearing in that country. So that we take it as a play. But at the end of the day, we want to make our children to be interested even to visit some of the African countries. Because as it stands now, they know themselves, even they don't even know that there's a Tsonga person in South Africa. You go to KZN, you become a foreigner.
They think you need a passport.
Yeah, they think you need a passport because they never had a person speaking Tsonga. They never had a person speaking Venda. You go to the Capes, they never had a person speaking Swazi, So these are some of the things that even within our own country, we have a problem that we even said, this one is a foreigner because he's speaking the language that I don't know. But now when you instill that to the young children, then the younger children will really start to appreciate that I'm a Tsonga, I'm a Zulu, so that they really understand their culture and they become part of South Africa. So that's the program that I'm trying to put together. I'm still on the concept level as I'm presenting it to you now. So, before the end of this year, we'll be starting kicking and we'll use some of the holidays of the kids because the kids must not just stay at home when there's holiday. They can just come to school and do something and do some things that will really even interest the community.
Wow. I'm thinking that you'd never get to know someone until you have a one-on-one conversation with them. You seem to be an activist of note, Deputy Minister.
Very much.
Do you mind sharing a bit of your history in the public office?
Well, I've done a lot in my public office. I've invented lots of programs, especially in government. I'm almost as old as the government in government. As old as the government in government. And I started in 1994 as an MEC for health. Well, as my party had a policy, a primary health care policy, so I was never a nurse. I'm a teacher by profession. So I had to read that healthcare policy of the ANC. And I felt that for us now to show change in the health services, as much as we build clinics, we build hospitals, we hire nurses, we hire doctors, but we need to have a book. I wrote a book about a basic primary health care for any person who can read that book and act and do things, and it happens even before going to clinic. So now that book, I was helped by the American USAID to produce that book, and it's a very good readable book. And I felt that I've done a mark. And at that time, I really understood that health services is not accessible, especially in rural areas. We have built a number of clinics. We have built a number of health centers in our villages, in all over Mpumalanga. So I left that department very stable in terms of the health services. So the only people that came after me in that department, they had to comply with the policy to do proper referral system. You close the 8-hour clinic, now you refer to the 24-hour clinic, then it's a hospital and all that. So it was just a simple thing like that. So I'm this type of a person that when I arrive in an area, I give myself time to learn.
Wow. So how does the Department of International Relations and Cooperation fit into your passion of community development? Because for most people, it is viewed as a department for a certain type of people. In radio language, you would say it fits for a certain LSM. Living Standard Measure.
Yes. Well, I have realized that, but I've recognized a gap. I've recognized a gap. The past 25 years in government, I never had anybody going to rural areas and speaking about this department. So I'm taking that line because I'm coming from the rural area. I know, what they don't know. I have a chance to learn, to bring information to more simplicity, so that everybody must really understand. Now we are speaking about SADC integration. The president has announced that we need to integrate SADC. You're quite aware that the president now will be sharing the AU by next month, February. So now it's big English if you look at other people. But when I go down to an area in my province at Manzini, because at Manzini you'll find South African, Mozambican, and Swaziland people. So now what you need to do there, really to speak to them. They will understand the language. So when we integrate, we are saying to you, you are foreigners, you are staying here in South Africa, you have got a business, we want you to go and open an account, put your money in the bank, pay tax. Simple as all that. Simple as all that.
In a way, you are saying that is the best way to communicate the foreign policy language to someone who is down there in the rural village.
Yes, rather than just speaking on radios and on TV to say, no, they don't bank their money, they rip us and all that. No, we know where they are. We can go there. Our South Africans will be there because running business, it's an opportunity of everyone. We need to grow our economy. And the only way in South Africa, we need also to learn to save our resources, save our money. So now, if we've got somebody who is saving under the carpet, and somebody now is getting salary today and withdrawing tomorrow, these are the people that will really keep our economy to thrive, because they're not flashy like us. They're not flashy like us. They use their money properly and they put it cent by cent. They rather not eat but keep the money. So, but if they keep the money in our bank, then our economy will grow.
Wow. And as we conclude, why do you think public service is so important to you?
Well, as we got our democracy, now we're speaking politics here. As we got our democracy, we took it for granted that we all understand where we're going. We realize after 20 years that no, we're not together. We're not together in the sense that the public service that we have do not have the heart that bring us to be the leaders of this government. So we failed to put the heart, because I know poverty. Now, anything that I'm doing, even when I eat, I just think that, hey, but there must be other people that are not eating. But a public servant who is employed by the very same government that is supposed to take care of poor people, it doesn't care. That's why they're so corrupt. Because you see now, corruption, it starts when you start to undermine the people that you're supposed to serve. Now you undermine them because you are educated, they never got education, and you're supposed to serve them. Now you feel you are belittling yourself serving them. You rather take the money that's supposed to give them water and do something else. So now, that's the heart that I feel we didn't instill to our public servant. But nevertheless, the public servants that we have is the public servants that were coming from all these different many governments, homeland governments, they call it central government, they call it whatever government. So the culture is still the same. The culture is still the same, because they were never in front of our communities. They never interacted. You know, some of our public servants, immediately they get educated with a government bursary, they get to work, they got a job, a very high paying job, they relocate to towns and they shut the rural area.
And they never come back.
They never come
And
back.
They don't develop the
But when they died, they come back. You know, when
when
they're on pension now, they come back and they become a nuisance to the people that they're supposed to be uplifting. That they never uplifted. They are the most complaining people in the rural areas. You know, I had a simple complaint of a person who was a mayor somewhere here in Pretoria, and a person who was a minister, a deputy minister, now is on pension, is at home, is complaining to me that there's no road to the graveyard.
Oh.
Yeah, we never got worried about that. We never got worried about that, sitting in the rural areas. Our worry was to make sure that there are schools, there's a road that goes to the school, there's a road that goes to the clinic, and our people get water and all that. But now, is so obsessed about, no, the road to the graveyard. No, you see people are leaving cars across the river, then they...
I was concerned about this last day.
Yeah, then I said, you know, that road to the graveyard is not a priority. A priority is the road to the school and to the clinic. So if you tell me about that problem, I'll just agree with you. So I'm trying to say now, these are the ones that are coming back to demand things that they never done.
Make unreasonable demands.
Make unreasonable demand. So, that's why I always keep my rural area. I keep my birth space and make sure that I understand it. I help them so that I must not become a nuisance next time when I come back and old and say, now, yeah, this one's supposed to be here. And then, no, I am doing it now.
The next thing you'll be saying, it's too hot, the government's supposed to install aircons for
us. Yes. Yeah, so you see now, so these are some of the things that I think we're missing. And I still feel that rural communities still must remain there and must get all the resources that they're supposed to get. They must get all the services that they're supposed to get. The government is trying its best to do that, but we still have got these people in the middle that are blocking that are blocking service delivery. So we are discussing that politically in our political space, that we need to deploy properly. We need to deploy properly. We need not to deploy people because, no, you can speak better English and all that. No, we still have got hearing things in Parliament. So translation is still going on. So, but a person that will really understand what is the mission of this government to better the lives of our people, to really make sure that we have the hunger that is there, and also to protect our environment. So these are the people that must be deployed. Yes.
Wow. Deputy Minister, it was a pleasure having you in studio, and we wish you all the best with the campaigns, and hopefully the people of Mookgophong are looking forward to meeting you on Friday, right?
Yes.
And people of Manzini are also looking forward to meeting you, especially Manzini, because they know you, they're expecting you.
Yes.
So I hope it's going to be a great celebration there.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
I hope that everybody can come there and contribute whatever things that they have.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Minister.